My parents didn't know that my parents.
Are we live? Live video is starting. You are now live, apparently. Let's double check. Go live. We are now live. Hello, my darlings. I hope you're well. It says that I'm live. It says that I'm live. Can't see it on my phone. But I trust. Ah. Ah, I just saw a message that's posted in the wealth frequency shift. And feeling emotions. Ha. Oh gosh. Yeah, it's woo. Okay. Woo. Ha. So these calls, and I'll go into that in a moment, just collecting my energies. These calls I've previously mentioned, I think I've mentioned, I I like to, I'm a reflector, if you don't already know, in the human design, and we really like to go with the flow of the energies. That's what works best for us. So, yeah, on a weekly basis, I could plan these calls days in advance and let you know what they are, or I could just wait and marinate on it a few days before to see what feels alive for me right now within myself and also within the collective, and then talk about that and then open the floor. So, honoring my design and knowing how I am and what feels good for me, and also my lifestyle and the way that I want to build my business, because this is my business and I get to choose how to build this, just like you get to choose how to build your business when you choose to build a business with me, which I will support you with, my darling, all of the way. I'm deciding to do it this way. So currently I'm going through one of the, and I have been, it's been a process since February. If you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I've been going through this process and I've been really pushed to my edge financially, if I'm honest with you, to really make me step into this next fucking level that I've known that I have to step into since 2023, but I went off course because of other things that I had to learn and integrate and embody to be able to fully own this role in the most integral way from my heart and from my most powerful rooted self. So everything's happened perfectly. But fuck, it's not been easy. I mean, if I could have done it then, it would have been a different journey. And this is the beauty about uh like, you know, when you have a vision and you feel it in your heart, and whatever that is for you right now is perfect, it's correct, it's alive for you right now. Trust it and move towards it. And the more that you trust it and move towards it, the more that as you move through this sacred spiral upwards, the more things are going to unravel and fall off, which will ultimately allow you clarity as to why you came to this planet. Because I shit you not, you came to this planet for a reason. We're in a very, very pinnacle moment in human history right now. If you zoom out and look at everything, especially since what's been going on since 2020, the world is a fucking shit show. People's eyes are open now way more than ever, and it's time for change, because unless we choose to collectively come together and shift and change things, the control is just going to tighten, 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 tighten. It's already happening. So we have a choice. We either stay with the old timeline or we go towards the new timeline. And the way that we go towards the new timeline is coming together as community in unity to reclaim our sovereignty in all of the ways. And this is what I'm here to support you in doing. So, yeah, what's really alive for me right now is your next level identity, because of what I'm finally claiming. And this message that's in the group, you can read it, is from a dear, dear sister that used to be a manager of mine, actually, when I was 18. Yeah. Woo-hoo-hoo. God, I'm gonna read. I haven't fully read that message. I'm gonna read it after. Shh. But it's been a lot, this initiation that I've been going through, to the point where to the point where I've blocked my family on social, and to the point where I haven't really spoken to my mum in nearly a month. And I have here and there, but the other day she said she asked me to call her. However, I sent her a couple of long messages at the start of the month, letting her know how I feel about our relationship. And she hasn't acknowledged or responded in a way that feels good for me. So it's what's been brought up for me in this is illuminated, uh, accepted, and what's the other word? And normalized, illuminated, accepted, and normalized familial toxicity within my familial field and trauma. And I understand. I get why my mum's the way my mum is. I get it. Trauma, 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 blah, blah, blah. This is what we're all fucking working through to become our highest self. However, integrity for me, no. No. As much as I understand you and as much as I get where it's coming from, no. And and it's heartbreaking because I don't care who you are. I don't care. If you don't treat me in the way that I deserve to be treated, spoken to, then no. And I've been through this whole process over the last 9 years of really getting to know and understand my boundaries, my field, my values, my vision, my mission, my purpose, what matters, what love is to me in all senses of the word, within family, within friendships, within community, within relationships, within business, because every relationship that we have must be based on love. Yeah. Otherwise, what else is it based on? It's based on conceit. It's based on extraction. It's based on things that are shady and not good. No, I don't want to live my life like that. And I've had to make some hard decisions recently because of lack of alignment in values with people within my field, including my family. And it's heartbreaking. However, for things to shift in our lives, we must make these hard decisions and we must lead by example in respects to certain standards for our life. So, receiving this, she posted it 16 hours ago. I haven't seen it yet because I haven't looked at my phone. Um, I just recently saw it, obviously. But this has made me very like it's filled my heart and made me emotional because of everything that I've been shedding over the last 9 years. I haven't spoken really to this woman, dear, dear sister. I love her so much, and she's been such a beautiful, huge pinnacle part of my journey, even before I consciously knew that my journey started. And she's not the only quote unquote old friend that came back, that has started to come back into my field over the last few months. Another one has. D, if you're watching, Sausage, I've been speaking to Sausage. I don't know if you remember him, but he says he remembers you. And it's been really beautiful because I don't really speak to anyone from my old life. And since coming to Bali as well, like it's a completely new life for me. Even people that I used to work with in my old online community and my old organization, I don't work with them anymore because of this deep internal work that I've done that has ultimately enabled me to raise my frequency. And as we do this work and raise our frequency, the people that choose to not come with us, they just dissolve out of our field. And what happens, depending on the medicine that we need in the moment, is sometimes that dissolution is toxic. And sometimes it brings up shadows from ourselves and other people that we get to work through. So we ourselves personally can alchemize and transmute that and learn boundaries and raise our standards. So ultimately, the people that we used to have in our field that are as we raise our frequency, they can't even get to us. They can't even get to us on an energetic level because we're not vibing on the same frequency anymore, right? So it's been really, really beautiful seeing this message. And I also saw some other comments. She's been watching a couple of my videos in here, and it really warms my heart because she's from my old life, my old being, and uh it really fills me up that she cares because yeah, just my inner child, especially with my family and what I'm currently experiencing with my mum, it's my inner child's like, oh, they don't care, you know what happens. But I know she does, and I know they do. It's just a fucking weird paradox because of this normalized and accepted familial toxicity and trauma that is disguised as love. Like, no, no. Can we just all just take a break for ourselves for a moment? Pause this if you want and just really sit down and think about what is love? What is love? To be loved, to receive love, to give love, to experience love. What is love? Because anything else other than that, and anything that makes you feel icky, sticky, and small and attacked, that's not love. It might be disguised as love because it's coming through lenses and lenses of toxicity and trauma, but it's not love. So, what we really need to come to the understanding of for us is first and foremost what that is, and keeping in mind and keeping in our being that as we move forward towards our highest and our next level identity over and over and over again, right? Now, I'm speaking from a different perspective than a lot of people would when it comes to next level identity, because a lot of people would be like, strategy, do this, and yeah, of course, there's strategy behind it. For you to be able to change what you have in your life, you must change what you do. And the only way you can change what you do is if you change who you be. Most people think you have to do to be. No, most people think you have to do to have to be. No, it's the other way around. You be and do and then have. And when you're coming from a place of being, you're embodying that frequency of that next level version of self that you are, and you're showing up in that way. And make no mistake, that version is within you. Otherwise, you wouldn't know where you want to go on your next level, and you do because you feel it inside, whatever that is. For me, 9 years ago, when I didn't really know myself and I didn't really know what I wanted, I was just conditioned and programmed into societal, cultural, familial expectations of what was right for me. So, yes, of course, I was making my own choices and I was going through life and choosing, instead of going to university, to go to work. And then I went to work and I kind of fumbled my way into finance and then banking and then climbed the corporate ladder. But that wasn't me. And then I chose to study accountancy. But that wasn't me because that was what society deemed as correct and the system deemed as correct. However, that wasn't me. Those were choices that were influenced by outside sources. And then once I really started to think about, well, what the fuck do I want? Which is what we go through when you join the wealth frequency shift. There's a whole creating clarity mindset course, and I really sort you out. You have so much within the wealth frequency shift to really support you on your journey of creating everything that you want. So this is the kind of thing that I went through when I started my journey, and I came to realize I wanted freedom. I want to live my life free. So that was the first pinnacle moment and realization for me to start working towards my next level. And then as I went up my sacred spiral and as things unraveled, I I started to learn more about myself and what I wanted in relationships and how I wanted my business to be through the process of life reflecting back at me what I didn't want. And instead of focusing on what I didn't want, I focused on what I did want, and then I refined myself around that. And this is the process of any next level identity, and depending on where you're at and what you need for your own version of soul's evolution and ascension is really dependent on what comes up for you at the time, because like I said, there's various layers in your sacred spiral, but typically from my own experience, I'm only speaking from my experience, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't with anything that I say. I am not your guru, I am just your guide. You are your own guru, and the idea is to completely connect to yourself and your own guidance, and hear me and hear any other teachers and listen to whoever you resonate with, and take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Yeah, we've all got different worldviews, we've all got different stories, different approaches. We're not always going to agree on everything. However, just because you don't agree with one or two things that I might say, don't completely cut out everything else, okay? Because there's so much gold in anyone. We can learn from everyone, right? We're all students, and we're also all teachers as well. So when we approach life in this way and get to know people in this way with, yeah, I can learn something from them, then that keeps us humble, first and foremost, and it allows for more of an open bridge for connection. So, through my own experience, I found as we go up this sacred spiral, the lessons that we go through at any level are typically the same, they're just in a different disguise. So it's unraveling, and we're raising our perspective and we're raising our awareness enough to be able to see quote unquote red flags, or where we would have sabotaged ourselves in the past, or how far we've come through this raising and expanding of our awareness, and also the unraveling of all of the dense and heavy energies that are holding us back and keeping us small. So typically the lessons are the same, but they're different because obviously we're different, right? Now, the idea for us to go to our next level is first and foremost to know where we're at, to know what the next level is, and essentially what we need to do to bridge that in between. And there's different aspects to what we need to do within this bridge that is going to actualize our next level and our way of being. And depending on where you're at is depending on what it is that you need to do and what it is that you need to embody first and foremost, because it's all about embodiment. Remember, be, do, have. Be, do, have. Because when you be and when you're embodied and when you're in the frequency of, yeah, I'm fucking convicted. This is who I am. This is where I'm going. This is what I'm doing. This is what makes the doing so much easier. As if, oh, by magic, oh, I've just met someone that's aligned with my vision that's going to help me. Oh, just as I was going to get coffee, I didn't even need to try. The universe just delivered it to me. Like that kind of magic, yeah? Where we don't need to push and fucking and slave ourselves away to work for money and trade our time for money. No, we can live our lives and we can enjoy ourselves, we can be ourselves, and we can attract what's supposed to come for us. And that's not to say it's going to be easy. No, there is work involved. Of course, there's work involved. We must shift our way of being, which requires a lot of reflection, shedding, compassion, and love, especially as we're letting go of all of these icky nicky parts of ourselves to be able to raise our frequency. There's a lot of love and compassion that must come within it so we can really nourish ourselves, because you cannot shame yourself or put yourself down or speak badly about yourself when it comes to growth and when it comes to creating what it is you want. You're not going to be as effective. You got to fucking love yourself, baby. The first thing that you must do, if you're not already doing it, is fall so deeply in love with yourself. Go back to the question, what is love to you? And then start giving it to yourself, because this is how you embody and lead the way for other people to treat you. And then through that process, this is where the boundaries and the standards and stuff come in. So depending on where you're at is what you need to do. And you know what you need to do. You either need to learn fundamentals, principles. For instance, if you're building a business, if you're new to building a business, if you're at a next stage of building a business, what do you need to learn to be able to grow your business in the way that you want to? Do you need to learn sales, marketing, systems, content, conversations, whatever that may be, right? You know what you need to do in that sense. Okay, well, who do you need to be? How do you show up? What's this next level version of you like? And simply doing it. This is the middle bit, yeah? Where you're at, where you're going, what you need to do. And you know what you need to do within you. You know, if you give yourself the space to listen and to be with yourself. Anyone that says, I don't know what to do, you're not giving yourself enough space. Give yourself space. Put your fucking phone away. Put your, not now, after this call, put your phone away. Put it on airplane mode. Lock it in the fucking drawer, because if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. If you keep it next to you, then naturally the natural impulse is, oh, I'll check my phone, I'll check my phone. Put it away. Get out your journal, get out your pen, light a candle, yeah? Bring in ceremony, bring in spirit, ask for support for your ancestors, whatever feels good for you. That might be a bit too woo-woo for you right now. You do what you want and feels good. Call in prayer, call in support. Please support me, connect to my highest. Clear the energies, do what feels right for you. Bring in your witchy, bring in your not, whatever you want to do, right? And sit with yourself. Sit with yourself. What is my next level version? What do I need to do? What do I want to do? What am I being called to do? Even if it's scary, because most of the time it's going to be scary. It's going to be scary, darling. And this is why it's taken me fucking 3 years to fucking step into this next level version of myself. Fuck. Because I've been scared. I've been heartbroken. I've been fucking, get it. I get it. I get where you're coming from. If you're a little bit, I get it. But there's only so long that we can stay small. There's only so long that we can stay victim and blame other people and outside sources. And we must choose to shed that. Yeah. And when I say this, I don't say this with judgment at all, because I've come from this. I've come from this, so I get it. And this is all a part of the sacred spiral and the sacred unraveling. You're letting go of all of this because, yes, it's human nature to just want to be saved. Come and help me, save me. I don't want to do it on my own. But especially if you get that, which is one of mine, I don't want to do it on my own, then you're really going to be pushed to the edge. Like, you can fucking do it on your own. What are you talking about? But you don't need to. This is why I'm here to support you. Community's best. And, you know, I started, if you already know me, I started in community 2023, the end of 23. My online community, I dissolved from that because of the lack of alignment with frequency. And then I was connecting with physical community since mid 2023. And now I'm merging the both, right? And it was fucking heartbreaking when my connection with my old community and organization dissolved. And there were parts of me like, you know, all of this shit that comes up within us. And now in hindsight, I look at it and I realize that really had to happen because of how influenced I am in respects to the people that I'm surrounded by, and the leadership and the people that I was surrounded by in my online community, they weren't good for me because, again, accepted and familiarized toxicity and trauma, because it's not just in our family, it's in our fucking communities, it's all over the world. So the point is to eradicate that and to come back to love and integrity in all of the ways and shed all of our toxic and dense and unhealthy that comes up, that comes from here. It doesn't come from here, it comes from here, right? So now I know, but fuck, it's not been easy because what? Building a whole ecosystem on your own and starting a movement on your own, especially when you've got limiting beliefs and no one cares what you have to say, no one listens to you, all of that shit, you know. So there's a lot that we all get to work through in respects to getting to our next level versions, and depending on where you're at in your journey and the different parts of the puzzle that you have is what you have to work through, you know. Like, leadership was never really an issue for me when I started because I had that support and that cushion of community. So I just stepped out and did it. But then when I had to fucking go and lead on my own, like I'm doing, I'm like, oh my God. So there's been a lot that's come up in respects to my childhood trauma and all of that shit. Not even childhood trauma either, but also trauma that I've experienced on my leadership journey that I've really had to excavate and be like, oh, that's just bullshit, you know? And just laugh at it in hindsight and let it go, and also be there for that part of me that needs reparenting and reassuring and loving, and ultimately in that process alchemizing and transmuting all of the energies to be able to rise and be here with you, my darling, and be able to start speaking in the way that I have done over the last few weeks and set the boundaries that I have and all of that stuff. So for you to rise to your next level version, the most important thing for you to do is to really, really connect with yourself and to connect with your North Star, which, if you want to go deeper into that, we do that in the wealth frequency shift as you first join, and you'll be guided through that. So you can join from as little as £33 a month, and depending on the tier, it goes up and you get different access to different things, right? And the link is in the bio, in the comments below. So next level is really all about identity. It's about embodiment in that identity. So it's knowing, yeah, where you want to go, but who is that level? Who is that person? What does she look like? What does he look like? Feel like? How does she show up? How does he show up? I'm just going to say they. How do they show up? How do they wake up in the morning? Like, what kind of things do they say? How do they converse? How do they show up? Who are you? Because for you to get your next level, you're not gonna get it being this person. You got to raise yourself first. You got to raise your standards first for yourself, for others, for your business, for your expectations. And yeah, part of that's going to include visualization. Part of that's going to include, and there's different ways to visualize. There's script work. You can write affirmations. You can say affirmations in the mirror. You can sit, meditate, and visualize. You can sing to yourself. I have a really great playlist for manifestation. So if you want that, message me and I'll share it with you. But yeah, reprogramming your mind is very, very important. And this happens throughout the journey. And please don't ever get to a point in your journey where you feel like, oh, I've already done that. I don't need to do that anymore. Because trust me, I've made that mistake. It doesn't fucking work. You end up going backwards or staying stagnant, and we don't want that. So the mindset work is really important. But then beyond the mindset work is the body work, is connecting to all of the that's stuck in your body that you must let go of energetically to be able to fully rise into your highest and land into your heart. And ultimately, through the process of reprogramming your mind and connecting to your body, this is how you're able to connect to your soul and your purpose, because it's your soul that speaks to you through your body. So the stronger the relationship that you have with your body, the stronger the guidance that you're going to get from your soul, and ultimately the stronger the magic is going to be in your life. Well, the white magic anyway. We're all creating magic. It doesn't matter what life you're living in, but most people are creating magic unconsciously and in a way that detriments them. For instance, they're thinking all of this shit. I'm not good enough. Why do they keep doing that? I don't want that. And then they wonder why their external reality is reflecting back to them everything that they're fucking saying and speaking in their head, because they're putting it out there. When you're thinking, that's the little seed, right? Thinking is the little seed that starts to fucking marinate under the mud. But then when you speak it, it's like it starts to sprout. And then especially if you're talking stories to people and spreading it to people, then it sprouts even more because it gets to other people's field. It's like, no, let's keep this in. And this is why it's also really important that if you have this vision or something that you're working on, you make sure you solidify it before you go and share it with any Tom, Dick, or Harry, because other people's energies can affect you. So yeah, anyway, I digress. It's already, I didn't really want to speak too much, but no one's hopped on. So this is more like a monologue because I'm not going to open the floor. But I haven't really got anything else to say, to be honest with you. These calls are, and I also had feedback last week from a sister that hopped on a call when I was speaking for about 40 minutes, I think, last week, and she said for her it was too long. And I don't want these calls to be a whole long fucking monologue, because I can speak, as you know, I can speak. However, what I really want is for you to really be able to fully digest what I'm saying and then take away what I've said to really sit and ponder about you and your life and the direction that you're taking it and what you're creating for yourself. Because as much as I share the stories that I do, this isn't about me. This is about you. The reason that I share my lived experience and the reason that I share my story is so that you can connect to it in a way that fits for you. Because inherently we're all the fucking same. We all want the same stuff. We're just doing it in different ways, you know? So yeah, that's all I have to say on the matter. Your next level identity requires you to step into that next level version of self now. Now, what you need to do is decipher who that next level of version of self is so you can really start to curate yourself and your life and your days around that next level version of self to be able to fully step into that for the magic of the universe to work in your favor. Right, we're gonna close the floor. This is going to be available on replay. If you have any comments, if you have any questions that you desire to ask, please pop them in the comments. I'm completely open and happy to answer these questions as well. Please do engage. I love it when you engage and when you get involved. And yeah, this moment in time in human history. Oh, I liked that. It's like there was a thumb up. I was like, who did that? But it was me. This moment in time in human history is huge. Like I said at the start, it's huge. And the only way things are going to change, and the only way that our children our children, not just my children, our children, whether or not you choose to have children or not, you're going to have nieces and nephews and children in your life that you know, they deserve better. They deserve to be free. They deserve to be sovereign. They deserve to be able to think for themselves. They deserve to be able to be healthy, to drink clean living drinking water, to have food that is not poisoned, to be able to grow their own food, to have that knowledge, to be able to live and not be dependent or codependent. Our children deserve this. So, what that calls for us to do is take a level of responsibility to be able to create that for them and to be able to lead by example for them so they don't fall into codependency and so they are not controlled and manipulated and extracted from and oppressed. No, 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 no. We've all experienced that that kind of way of living is no. My whole experience over the last 9 years has shown to me how fucking insidious the system is that we've all been born into and led through. And as I've moved away from that, and as I've continued to step into my next level identities over and over again, I've created such a wonderful, free, rich, nourishing, loving life in all areas, all areas. I'm just getting rid of the last remnants of toxicity. We do not deserve toxicity in any way. We do not deserve to fuel ourselves with toxicity. We do not deserve to poison ourselves with whatever we consume in our mouth, but also what we consume with our thoughts. Because negative thinking creates negative chemical reactions within our body that's toxic, that poisons us, that makes us sick. So we must be very aware of everything that we're consuming, including the energies that we're choosing to surround ourselves with. And we're not just doing this for us. Yes, of course, that's a driving force because we want to feel good. But this journey is not going to be easy. So, what makes it easier is by having this North Star and a bigger reason to do it, which for me has always been my future children, has been my family. And then the more I've seen what I'm able to do, I'm like, fuck the world, my tribe. I have millions of people, millions. There's so many people out there that desire to rise up and join community and look for this support. And that is part of why I'm here to support millions of people, not necessarily directly, but through you. Because through you, as I plant this seed, I pray in prayer that you'll plant seeds with other people who will then plant seeds with other people who will then plant seeds with other people. And this is how the mycelium network of mushrooms moves out towards the world, and like fucking magic mushrooms, just spreading our magic everywhere. So yeah, that's all I have to say. I love you so much. Have a very beautiful day. And if you have any questions, my inbox is open. And yeah, I love you. I love you. Remember how powerful you are. Okay? Mwah.